I saw that you did like a call with Wrestle Like a Girl, that account.
Yeah, Sally Roberts, man. I know her personally.
Yeah. So like I feel like there's a lot of confusion too with what's going on with you with this with the flow issue. It's like all of these people have there's been people that have reached out to you, women's wrestlers, and you've been on calls with, and I've seen some advocate for you and some not. So it's like, is it kind of like have like a split down the middle between women's wrestling on who
Yeah.
wants to like work with Pat Downey to understand the real meaning behind his actions, or is like the people that just try to cancel you right away and they're like, no, he's only maliciously intent, like it's all malicious
Right.
intent. You know what I
Which is
mean?
crazy. Which is crazy that there's women jumping to that side. Like, these are girls I've considered friends, and ones that I do like. I've talked to, Sally Roberts, and I've talked to Haley, and Vicky Anthony's one of my good friends. I mean, she's probably the most exciting female wrestler in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you ever second guess like my love for the sport or the women, like you're just wrong. Like it's just
Right.
not the true. It's just not true me. And in fact, it's the opposite. I have a vision of being a college coach one day after I'm done wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
fighting, whatever my career may be. I would love to give back to the sport and be a teacher and a coach. With that being said, is it in my best interest to ruin women and wrestling? No, it's in my best interest to grow it, get the sport nationally, NCAA, where it's par for the course. So then we don't have the Title IX issue and the equality issue. Like, I don't want to see wrestling get canceled due to Title IX because there's no women wrestling at the collegiate level.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to be said too, because the very first thing you started off with when we got on the phone is your family. And it's like, obviously you love your mom and you love your grandmother and if you have any aunts and any
Two of my little sisters, my
two of your little
aunt,
sisters. So
my
it's not like
goddaughter.
you're just like this just sexist asshole who just hates women and they're just out to cancel women in general in any
Seriously.
sport they compete in.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But at the same time, I can logically say the WNBA gets paid way less than the NBA
Right.
because not as many people watch them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with their athletic
Yeah.
ability.
People don't understand
Right.
when you run a business and it's like a sports organization. Let's say, perhaps like you said, the WNBA and the NBA, they have a right to pay whatever they want. They're a sports organization. If you're running a business such as like, let's say where you have men and women, like let's say you're running like a financial firm, you cannot pay a woman. Well, it still happens, but it shouldn't. They should be paid for the same job. The NBA and the WNBA is the same sport, but it's just a different craft. I mean, you have like players like, well, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, like doing like 360 dunks. You don't see that in that WNBA, but like people go and they
Well,
watch.
regardless, even if you did see it in the NBA or not, it goes to the point where the athlete, sure, maybe things that you said were misinterpreted, and it was like, so like for instance, there's people I know in my life personally that are the type of person, they never mean anything maliciously, but sometimes the way they say things, and I've done it before myself,
I do it all the time.
and it's like people tell me it's not what you said, it's the way you say it. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't mean it that way. And I apologize to anybody that got hurt from me saying it the way I said it. But here's how I really meant it. Some people struggle to put it in words on what they really mean. And it's like, why cancel the person, somebody like Pat Downey, who truly cares about, forget wrestling, who truly cares about women, right? You like you said, you respect your little sisters, your mother, your grandmother, your goddaughter. It has nothing to do with women. It's just the fact that it's just looking off pure statistics and pure numbers. So if it's about canceling somebody, why go after the athlete's throat? Go after the organization that's paying the athletes and putting the card on. They're the ones that are in charge of how much money they're paying people.
And that's my ultimate vision, man. That's my ultimate goal, is to unionize us.
Right.
I'm aware that like Sarah Hildebrand hits her overtie slide by to the near pick. I'm not physically able enough. My hips, my flexibility, I hit the slide by to the foot sweep. You know what I mean? It's a similar thing. I hit the slide by, catch the foot. My body isn't physically able to get, like, she's doing technique that I'm not able to do, that I appreciate, right?
Right.
Technique-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Straight wrestling. Don't even talk about gender. Helen Morrell, Helen with the 2-on-1 series. I mean, Vicky with her inside trips. I'm talking world-class, high-level shit happening here that I have a great appreciation for.
Right.
As an athlete my damn self. With that being said, just because I'm bringing an issue to light, just because I'm speaking on an issue, now I get it. Others won't say it. Others will just think it. I get it. Others know it's there. It's like the elephant in the room.
Right.
God forbid, but it got to the point where I'm like, no, this is bullshit. Flo shouldn't be able to get away with this. No. And do I think it's ridiculous to have two world champs or two world medal finalists, Sarah and Jakara, wrestle for less money than I am, even though they have more accolades? No, I don't think that's fair.
Right.
But do I think it's reality? It must be, because Flo's the business allowing it to happen. Flo is the business that sees me bringing more money to their company.
Right.
So they paid me more money. Like, I can't explain it because I'm not the one cutting the checks or making the matches or any of that. Flo is. So, but everybody's mad at the fucking messenger.
Right.
Yeah, they shot the messenger when they're not supposed to do it.
Right. And you were paid significantly less than the opponent you were wrestling.
Less. And even then,
paid
you guys were
way
the
less. Paid less than half of what he was getting.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because.
And then your card was even paid. Your match up was even paid significantly less than the main card matchup.
Again, way half than less of that. Not 25 a person, 20 and 75. So they're dishing a total of 27,500 out for us two, and then on them two, it's going to be over 100 G's. It's amazing.
Right, and I'm not going to speak for women's wrestling because I don't have the right to do so because I'm not a women's wrestler. But I think that their frustration was like, you have all of these cards that are paid all this big money, like the Dakin Chamizo match, and they were just, I think from their standpoint, it was like, I can understand why they'd be frustrated that they spend all that money on that main card, and they could have maybe taken a little bit less money from them and gave a little bit more money to the women's cards that have the accolades to do so. But like you said, you were coming out and just saying, I understand that that's why you're frustrated, but the reason why they're doing that is this.
Right.
And it was just strictly due
to get shot down like a oh my gosh. And guys, hindsight's 2020. Do you think if I'd have been reprimanded in that fashion, I gladly would have held that thought inside.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't.
I mean, but maybe something good will come from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe they'll thank you. You never know. So
maybe one day in a few, before the next card, maybe there's a union. Maybe there's a whole bunch of women on a card. I don't know, but there's still no women or men's Greco on this card.
Well, that's what that was my next point, was like, okay, so we canceled Pat Downey, right? He said some things that were taken the wrong way and misinterpreted. And maybe he said some things that hurt some people's feelings and really devastated some people. And that's the reason why people are trying to cancel Pat Downey. But put all that aside for just a second, and you look at the real issue, and we got Pat Downey out of the picture and we canceled Pat Downey. But what's Flo doing now? They still don't have any, like you said, they still don't have any women on the card. They still didn't reach out.
They didn't give my money to Sarah. They didn't offer Helen more money. They continue to disrespect our women that are our best athletes.
And they took the money they were going to pay you, and they just gave it to Miles Martin and put him on the card.
Yeah, they did.
Here's a great point. I was talking to Helen, and she said, okay, Pat, let's say we were on the card and we were getting your same pay. Even then, they would still feel subservient because who would Flo be promoting the whole time? Downey and Taylor, Chamizo and Dave. They would be a part of the card and still not even feel equal because the way that they're promoted. Flo doesn't give them the same media attention. Look at me. Now, you probably won't see me on their site till the Olympic trials, right?
Right.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
Probably. But up until then, I couldn't even wake up without seeing me tagged. Oh, Pat Downey said wet nugget. I'm like, what? Is this fucking wrestling news? I called somebody a chicken nugget, and you guys think this is worthy of being – but you got real wrestling happening? I mean, and now I laugh at it because it's me being talked about, and I'm like, oh, it's free marketing, and they love me, and it's cool. But in reality, what the hell are they wasting their time building my brand if they're just going to cancel me out for, you know what I mean? And they really did set me up with this. They give me the facts. They know I'm somebody who's going to speak on them. They know I'm an outgoing, like, I'm not one to really hold in my thoughts. Like, if I don't like you, I'll say, hey, dude, I don't like you. Like, get out of my house. Like, I'm not like a fake person.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I feel
I
like
mean,
the only
The Cave Talk.